Good evening. I pray all is well with everyone. Um, not in my car today. Yeah, but yeah, I decided to come. I should have done this yesterday, but when you got a lot of things going on, um, you kind of get caught up. So anyway, I've been caught up. So anyway, today, this video is called Bring Back Balance. We've just gone through this conjunction, this Jupiter Saturn conjunction, the winter solstice, and all that good stuff. There's a lot of things happening with that, with this space, and the message that came through about bringing back balance. Like I said, I'm doing the Facebook and the Instagram together, so thank you. But yeah, bring back balance. And sometimes when, some of the things that come up, it's like, oh, can I? Not that I fear talking about anything, because I don't. But I'm just, sometimes it's a bit, it's a bit like, oh, could be a little titchy. But anyway, this bringing back balance. Bringing back balance is dealing with the divine, sacred feminine, bringing back the balance that has been needed for a long time, which, it's happening not because, okay, this is the way they wanted me to show it. We've been dealing with patriarchy for a long time, right? And so when you talk about the divine feminine or the sacred feminine coming back into power, or coming back into a space where they are, how can I put it, being more assertive, some people look at it as if you're looking at the males and saying, oh, nah, you got to go down and this, that, and the other, or male bashing or patriarchy bashing. Not dealing with that. Because if you think about it, patriarchy, from what we understand from this point in this day and time, we are living somebody else's realization of what they wanted to see as the patriarchal system in effect. We're living somebody else's ideal. And as you see, whether you into astrology or not, we have just moved into the age of Aquarius, which is not about just going by what you are told and you accept it. It's more going by now what you feel and you know it. So in the space of feeling and knowing it, the imbalance of patriarchy and matriarchy is not right. It's not been in order for a long time, and they're just saying keep watching, keep learning, because things are changing. The changes are being made because the balance has to be in effect. We're moving it, like I said, we're not going back to the old ways anymore. So you're going to see a lot of more women getting more prominent, being more outspoken. And I don't mean outspoken, being more vocal about who, what, where, and when. More women in power, more women stepping up. You know what I mean? Because it's this energy, of this nurturing energy, that if we're moving into a new space, a new reality, there has to be an energy that supports that. And, anything you're giving birth to, you know what I mean? It has to be nurtured. So what is it? It's the feminine energy. And so not to disregard the masculine, but it's like they have to understand the feminine within them. They have to bring it back into balance, because it's the stuff that's been out of balance is why we're in the chaos it is. It's been too forceful, the warring, the fighting, the disregarding of energies, disregarding of feminine, disregarding of just the women in general. Even when you talk about the things being equal, people getting equal pay and stuff like that. It's not been fair. So because of the stories of old we've been subjected to when it comes to the feminine, the stories of old that we've been subjected to, we've been living and just kind of accepting, like that's what it is. I mean, one of the things that, that I still think about, and I'm like, yo, the women's cycle. I know, not many people want to talk about that, but women have a cycle, a period. And if every month you think that you are dirty or you're unclean, what does that do to you psychologically? You know, every month, 12 months of the year, you are thinking at one time or another, for whether it's 7 days or, you know, whatever the many days that you're on your cycle, you think you're unclean, or you're not able to do this, or you're not able to do that, and this. So just thinking in those terms in yourself is a negative energy that you're carrying, which makes no sense. It is, you know, I heard people say, oh, it's, you know, it's an abomination that women have cycles and this, that, you know. If at the beginning of wherever we wasn't meant to have cycles, so be it. But now in this day and time, we do. So it's not meant, we're not meant to be thinking that we are less than, or we are sick, or we're dirty because we have that cycle. It's just a part of natural part of life. We have to go through it. So we have to start to think of ourselves in a better way. There's been so many stories, like whenever we talk about the Iyamu, the mothers, the stories of old, those things of the suppression of that energy is brought about the chaos that we're living today. So they're saying now we can't keep doing that. Now we're in the space of the Aquarian age, which is more being in alignment, that more people are waking up. It's now the time that we have to start to encourage each other, encourage ourselves, and lift ourselves up in a space. And that means that the male alike have to raise the women to put them in a space to do the work, because you can't do it on your own. We know in Ifa that there's no ritual, there's no eba, there's no nothing that can go, no initiation can go on without the divine feminine. It's not possible. It doesn't happen. So when you have that kind of energy and it's not being represented, or it's not being supported the way it's supposed to, you're going to have such an imbalance. And so they're saying now, as we're moving forward, you know, things are not going back to the old times, you know what I mean? Whatever you think it looked like before, we're not going back to that. So we got to build on what we've got. So if we've got to build on what we've got and we've got to move forward, how do we do that? We do that, like I say, my thing is, like I say every time, my questions are, how do we change the vibration of this planet with love? One of these things is bring back the balance. The energy or the force of the divine feminine coming up right now is not because, it's not about how do I say it? It's not because it was never there. It's because it's been suppressed with so much negative connotations about that divine feminine, that because it's raising up now, it looks like it's like a women's lib type thing, or it looks like it's a women, like women are pushing, it's the women's agenda is being pushed. No, when you're just bringing back, when you're dealing with nature, everything is in balance. Everything is in balance. You know, there's nothing that's above all. Everything is in balance, and in the balance of nature, you know what gives birth, you know what creates. You know, I'm not saying men are not able to create, but they have to create with that energy of the feminine. You know what I mean? You give birth to with the energy of the feminine. So that means you have to bring yourself back into balance. That means that you have to understand and honor the divine feminine within yourself, as well as your mothers, your sisters, your aunties, your wives. You know what I mean? Your daughters. You have to honor that energy. Without honoring that energy, it's going to be a tough time. Things are changing. We're not going back to the same way. And with this energy pushing for giving birth, it's like we can't stop what's going to happen. So it's either you get on board with the energy of the feminine ushering a new way, or you're going to have a hard time. And those that are going to have a hard time are those that are not willing to honor that sacred feminine. Like I said, a lot of people that have been living this or benefiting from the patriarchal system, they are living at somebody else's ideal. It is not even your own creation. You know, the stories of old is being told and being passed down, and this is how it's meant to be, and the women are this, or the second class, or whatever. That energy was been told a long time ago, whether it's hundreds of years ago, doesn't mean it's the truth. It just means that something was put in place in order for you to live a certain way, in order to create a desired outcome. We've already I've said this before in another video of mine, that when some people want to create a certain outcome, they'll put things in place so hundreds of years later their stuff is in effect. This is one of those things. When you suppress the feminine, you can keep a certain amount of people under control. And you've got women that support that space. Why? Because it upholds them, or it keeps them in a safe space. You know what I mean? And so with this sacred space, we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to teach our children better. We have to teach those that, like I said, this is not even a black or white thing, or it's not even I'm not bashing males at all, because the divine masculine needs the divine feminine in order to remain in balance. You got to do that within yourself. I could say what I want, but unless you feel that within you, nothing's going to change. So I'm saying this to say that, with everything that's going on in this world, in this dynamics, in this day and time, the balance has to be brought back. The feminine energy is what's creating, what's giving birth to this new world, and you have to support that in every facet that it looks like. Whether you want to push forward the feminine, or raise up the feminine and allow them to take the spotlight, or even just to support them, to say, you know what, whatever you need, we got you. Whatever it is that you want to do, we got you. But you have to get on board with that. That balance is important. That imbalance is what's keeping it messed up as it is. When people have an agenda that they want to implement, somebody has to be suppressed. There's an energy that has to be suppressed in order to enforce an agenda, because the balance will not allow people in balance, or the divine feminine, divine masculine balance will not allow any disorder. The divine feminine doesn't rule with an iron fist. It rules with a nurturing, loving, caring, sharing, supportive energy, which is nurturing to grow and to build and grow. That's what the feminine does, So without that balance, we have a problem. So again, like I said, they're talking about in this time bringing back balance. We've had the winter solstice come, and the conjunction come. We're not going back to the same way. Even with the schools, even with school systems, nothing's going back the same way. They want to try, with this COVID, the the vaccines. There's a lot of stuff that we're dealing with. So this is where you have to gain strength within yourself. This is that time where you do go within. You do honor you. You do honor the voice, the divinity within you. When we're talking about ancestors, the ancestors understand that whatever was going on before, and I'm saying ancestors are enlightened, because those that don't pass on and move on or elevate, you know what I mean, they're still stuck with the mindset of this realm. So ancestors that have been elevated and supporting this realm understand that we have to raise the feminine. We have to support the divine feminine, the sacred feminine. It's impossible to move forward without it. And most of the time, like I said, it's the balance within you. You will see, without a shadow of a doubt, how the women are doing what they do. You can't ignore that. You can fight if you want to, but you're just fighting the divine feminine. You're fighting Oshun. You're fighting Yemoja. You're fighting, you're fighting, you're fighting all that energy. I was just saying when me and a friend was talking the other day, and he was saying that Eshu and Oya have come to bring change. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, the change that Eshu and Oya is bringing is that destruction, because then we rebuild. That's the only way to rebuild a better structure. The foundations of all... Remember the old structures that have been in place for hundreds of years? Those things are coming down. So now it's time to rebuild. But how do you rebuild? You got to rebuild with balance. And that starts with you. It starts within you, honoring the divine feminine within you, whether you're male or female. You have to honor that space. The what's the word am I looking for? The expression, the external expression is going to be seen. The external expression is being seen with the amount of females being raised up. Point, period, dot, end. But it's time for you to get into yourselves and bring yourself back into balance, to honor both sides of you. You know, in myself, I am feminine, but I have to honor the divine masculine within me in order to whether that's certain strength, whether that's certain force, whatever that comes with. I have to honor that in me. It's about bringing back that balance and being able to execute that into the world, because we've all got a message, we've all got a gift, and that gift gets expressed through the divine balance. The imbalance you're going to come across as very arrogant or egotistical or too soft or too passive or whatever. That's the imbalance. No, the balance is the male and female is in harmony within you to be expressed to the world. But that harmony also means the external expression has to be supported too. The balance is not just because it's been suppressed for so long. The balance is to bring back order. This world needs order. And the divine feminine or the sacred feminine is what brings about that order. Like I said, this is not about male bashing. You know what I mean? This is about understanding that when things are out of balance, you have a messed up space. So in order to bring that back, we have to look at ourselves. We have to honor ourselves. We have to honor the sacred feminine within us. You know what I mean? That the mothering energy that wants to nurture the world to bring it back into balance in order to create a world for the next generation. Because, you know, when we've gone, we've still got to have something for our children's children to live with. So whatever we do now is what makes a difference. And so that's why they say bringing things back into balance, bringing that back into balance, allowing the divine feminine to do what it do. The divine masculine does what it does, but it has to do what it does. It has to do what it do with supporting the feminine. You know, when you try and go around it without it, you're going to have problems. So you could choose which way you want to go, but there's only one way that it's really going to go, and that is supporting and raising the sacred feminine. And that goes both ways, the women as well as the men. The women, we have to support each other, we have to raise each other up, we have to love each other, we have to care for each other, we have to empower each other in order to do the right things. Because you know what, we're the ones who are raising our sons, we're the ones who are raising and teaching the men. Some men don't know how to tap into that feminine side, so we have to be able to show them within ourselves what it looks like. We have to be honest with ourselves, and, you know, to show men what the sacred and divine feminine is, what it feels like, what it's about. You know what I mean? You can honor by giving offerings and all that lot, but the divine feminine is still within you, whether you're male or female. We don't come without one or the other. You know what I mean? We are complete with both sides. It's just that one side gets nurtured more and the other side gets either suppressed or ignored. You know what I mean? And we can't do that. That's why you have such an imbalance with men not honoring that feminine side. It's not a soft side. You know what I mean? It's not soft because you have emotions, or you're not weak because you could cry, or you feel you have empathy for somebody else. That's not weakness. That's showing that you have love within you, you have care within you, you have a support in nature. That's that honoring the sacred feminine within you. And we have to do that in order to create the world that we want. And so, again, I keep going back to bringing back to balance. What is it? It's about love. I can't do any video without talking about divine love, sacred love, the love within self, the love that expresses to the world, because that's what's bringing us, that's got to unify us. Right now, if we don't understand that unity is the key to everything that's going on in this world, we're going to keep being separated by the little things that they keep implementing. You know, the media, you know, even music, they'll put stuff in music. We have to do better. We have to do better. We've got no choice. We're all we've got. If we keep waiting for those miniature powers that be to give us what we know we need, we're not going to get it, because we can't find it from them. We've got to find it in here. It's the only place to get it is in our inner self. And that's what I say. Bringing back that balance and honoring the sacred feminine. And honoring the sacred feminine, you have to raise her up. You have to support the raising of that space in yourself and in society. It's the only way that we're going to make this world, change this world the way we want it to look. I'm not reading all the comments. I wish Instagram allowed you to see those comments and they stayed there after the fact, but they don't. But anyway, like I said, bring back balance, bring it in yourself, in your environment, in your children. Teach your children. It's not this, the feminine within them is as big as part. It's an important part as who they are. That feminine part is just as important as the masculine that they may project, because that's what their physical makeup looks like. And they have to understand those two together. You can't fail, because it will talk to you. That's wisdom in itself. Being balanced with the sacred feminine, the divine masculine in itself brings a wisdom that one or the other can't give on its own. You know what I mean? So bringing that back into balance is going to allow the wisdom that you need to move forward to change the world the way we want it to work. That's what's going to happen. But you have to. I love your page. Always great messages. Thank you for your light. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Like I said, I do this because they give me information and then I have to give it. I can't sit with it. They won't allow me to. Alafia iya burobo ya busheshe. And so, that's what we got to do. We got to support it and raise up. There's no other way around it. You can do it because you feel it within you. So, like I said, we as feminines, we have to teach the men. We have to teach our boys, our husbands, whoever. We have to teach them that the sacred feminine is supporting you, not trying to suppress you. We've been in the space of suppression, so we understand what that feels like. We're not trying to do that to anyone else. And that's what you got to understand. This is not about eliminating you and what you bring to the table. It's about supporting you, but supporting you in the correct way. Nobody can go through any life without nurturing or about giving birth. So anyway, bring things back into balance. That's what this message is about. This is about the balance of love. We have work to do. Absolutely. We have to. We've got no choice. We have no choice. We cannot leave it in the hands of those. It's not about the ego. Those egomaniacs that have been trying to implement their agenda for so many years. The time now, the enlightenment time now that we know better. So we must do better. We can't just sit there and pretend that, because this is in such a way that we don't have any say in it. It starts within you. The power is within you. There's nothing within you that is not able to create the world that you want. As I'm not Christian, I keep telling you, I'm a Yoruba. I'm a spiritualist, okay? As a man thinks, so shall he be. So what you think about, you bring about. Positive or negative. So you make the choice. How do you want it to be? You want to create a better world, then you think of that way. But I'm telling you, in order to create a better world, you have to be in balance with this sacred feminine. You can't have it any other way. The divine feminine needs to be supported, needs to be put in the space that she was always. When you're born, who's your first God that you see when you come out? It's your mother. Point, period, dot, end. Point, period, dot, end. And until we get to the point of understanding that on a basic level, this is where we have the problems, because we're not even honoring from the sacred feminine of the mother that you came from. Because if you've got the ability to call women bitches, and I understand women can act less than desired, but that's due to their own insecurities that they act a certain way. Does not give anybody the right to degrade the feminine like they mean nothing. Nobody has that right. It's through your own ignorance that you will call a woman a bitch or a whore because you have no knowledge of the sacred feminine of what you came from. You would not be here without the feminine. Doesn't matter what you try and say. I don't care what. I don't care what kind of what they call clones and all that lot that they try and do. Nobody would be here without that feminine. So we have to honor it, and we have to honor that in a way that it's shown and it's expressed in this world without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so bringing back that balance, moving forward into this new day, new time. We're coming into 2021. 2020 was a rough year for everybody, whether it was financially, the amount of people that we've lost in this year, it's not been easy. But we're still here. We're still here. We've been given an opportunity to make new choices. As long as we have breath in the body as we wake up, we're being given an opportunity to make new choices, to make a new day, to bring new light into this world. We all have gifts. I've said this from day one. We all have gifts. Our expression of that gifts is what we nurture from an inner level. How we express that, whatever your gift is. See, got my stones. This is a Lumerian crystal, I think it is, that I was given. Thank you. But we all have gifts, and each gift that we have is necessary to bring into this world, or else we won't have it. You understand? So bringing back that balance is so important now. It's like they're giving me things to make people aware, for you to understand what you need to think about. You know, what should be your focus. Not because I just like to sit here talking, but the things that we don't pay attention to, we kind of ignore, or just goes by like we don't even think about it. This is that time that we have to really truly start thinking about it and say, you know what? I do honor the divine masculine within me. I do honor the sacred feminine within me. I want to bring that back into balance. What does that look like? What do I need to do within myself in order to express that? When you start asking yourself these questions, that information has no choice other than to come out of you. You know what I mean? But you got to ask the questions in the first place. You got to have that awareness that you want to understand that space. So this is why I bring the food for thought. You know what I mean? But we're not going any further without the support of the sacred feminine. Right now, the divine sacred women, the divine sacred feminine, the primordial mothers, the Iyami. You know what? I get tingles just thinking about that space, because it is so, that's where the change is. You want to know how to make the world change? This is how it changed. So, you know what I mean? We got to do it. We can do it. There's so many women are doing the works. Many, many women. But we have to have a conscious effort to support those that are doing the works. Don't hate on them. There's enough hate in the world without we having to hate on ourselves. That's enough. We've got to do that. We have to honor and support our movement forward, no matter what it is. Even if it's, you know what, go girl, you know what I mean, whatever you need, I got you. Hey, if I need to support you, you want me to come and do this, you want me to help, you want me to hold a goat for you, I got you. You want me to hold a chicken? You want me to clean up something? You want me to hold this? Whatever it is, you want me to hold sacred space for you. You want me to hold a candle? Do you want me to hold light for you? Do you want me to just hold space for you to speak? Do you want me to hold, whatever it is? We have to be that for each other. And that's that feminine energy. That's that sacred love, that thought that your intentions is about building, your intentions is about growing, your intentions is about loving and nurturing this realm in order to bring about what we want. We've got to make the change. We cannot allow those that have been in power for so long to make the changes that we want. It don't work that way. And like I said already, the one place that they cannot control is what goes on inside of you. That's why I have to keep giving you this information from the inner level, so you can work on it on yourselves. Because that's one thing they can't stop. You know what I mean? Like they say, you can pay a man to do your work, but you can't pay a man to make you think. So if I'm dropping any food for thought, like I said, I'm a vessel. I allow them to flow through me. Whatever they give me, I give out, whichever way. If it assists one person, then I've done my job, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm going to continue to do this again until there's no breath in my body, because that's what we have. We only have each other. You know, I saw a meme about, it was something to do about being liked. You know, people are coming to this world to make a change. It's not a one-man job, it is a collective. So you've got many people in different places doing their works. You've got many women doing their works from all different places all over the world, doing the works to raise an energy that's going to change what we're living. And we have to support that from an internal. If you don't have a place that you can go, start with you. Start with you. Let me see what he says. Hold you. We need a high five each other and give hugs. Absolutely, Mbele. Absolutely. Agboato ashuri wariwa for my dear. Absolutely. We have to. We got to support each other. We cannot do it. We can't work without that. We are the change that we want to see. So again, bring it back to balance. The balance within you, the male and female within you, bringing back the balance. Remember, the patriarchal system that is in effect right now, this was not your choice. This was pushed on you, and you went with it because it kind of gave you a little bit more power. But that way's crumbling, and that way has to crumble, because if there's any suppression anywhere, it's suppression everywhere. You know what I mean? So we have to look at that, not to minimize you, but to bring back the balance. The sacred feminine has to be honored the same way as the sacred masculine has to be honored. But because of the suppression, it's going to look like we're just pushing the agenda of the feminine. No, she's just building herself back up again to where she's supposed to be. Not from where, you know, remember, she's been gone down here. She's got to bring back up here. And this has to be a collective, whether it's the males, whether it's the females, together. That's what we're going to raise this vibration of this planet and change what's going on here. We can do it. They've said we can do it. And even when it looks like too much is against us, the divine, I trust wholeheartedly the wisdom of the divine. I trust them like I have so much trust in that space. And to honor that space, to dishonor that space would be for me to get that message and not give it out. To dishonor the divine feminine would be like, you know, accepting what is being given, accepting the okie-doke. We can't do that. It doesn't matter where you are in this world, what you came here to do, you came here to be, we're all of service. I keep saying that. Yes, my crown is of service. Point, period, dot, end. I will never not be of service as long as I live. But like I said, as long as the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, is not put in the space and supported and projected and kept in the space that she's supposed to be, you're going to have problems. Patriarchy. I don't even like those words anymore. It's just about balance. Because if you talk about eliminating patriarchy, it's like you're eliminating men's power. No, it's not got nothing to do with that. It's about the balance. You honoring the feminine in you. If you can honor the feminine in you, if you can honor your mother, you can honor the feminine in you. Remember, we all came from a woman. You can't do nothing without the feminine energy at all. So, okay, so we're in the space of bringing back balance. Bringing back the balance is the only way that we can make this world work. We're not moving. We're not going back to the old way. We're creating a new way. And the new way is supporting us, giving birth to a new world. Our way with our expression and our voice. It's our voice. It's our energy that's going to change this. We can't be living in fear. There's too much stuff that's been kept to keep us in fear. We've been in fear in our own lives. We've been in fear as a society, in an environment, as a country, as continents. We're in so much fear, but that's only because as long as you're living in fear, you can't move. You don't make decisions. But when you don't fear nothing, and I'm not saying you don't fear, like when you don't fear their agenda, and you know the divine is supporting you, and you hold that space, and you nurture that space, and you support that space, nothing can stop us. But that's what we got to do as a collective. I don't care what color you are, what sex you are, who you love, what you want to do. It doesn't matter as long as we're in a line to do that space. As long as we supporting and coming together to do that, They can't change it. They can't stop it. It's like a freight train that's got no pause on it. The only way that it stops is it stops with us. Like I said, you know what I mean? We're the ones who can create this world and we can destroy it. So, you know, like the video or this thing is called Bringing Back Balance. The only way we can do that is to raise the feminine back to where she's supposed to be in all the glory. And that goes for our inner as well as the external. And that goes for you men too. You're not excluded in that because you have feminine within you. The sacred feminine is a part of you, or she would not be here. I don't even know what you'd look like without it. To be real, you know what I mean? Let's be real. What would man be without the sacred feminine as being a part of it? It doesn't even, you can't even fathom that. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you as I always do, and I always say this, and I love me too. And I pray that that we do this. We do this. Okay, we got work to do. We've got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of souls. There's a lot of energies that need supporting in this space. There's a lot of people that don't feel that they have the power to make changes in their life. And this is why we have these conversations, to know what's in me is already in you. If I stand there existing to speak, that energy that resides in me already resides in you. We have the same energies, our expressions that make it different. That's the only difference, is our expression and how we feel about ourselves. That's why I keep saying divine love. Loving self is most important. Loving of self is first and foremost. You cannot go anywhere. You can't do nothing without loving self. It's the love of self that will create the environment for you to do the most. You know what I mean? When loving self, I swear, oh guys, it gives me tingles. Loving self is allowing the divine's expression of what you came here to express in this world to do its thing. When you don't love yourself, you block whatever it is that you come here to do. You have to love you in order to show who you truly are. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I keep going. But bringing back balance, that's the idea. I swear I wish I could read this properly. Hold on. No, I didn't. We accept it out of ignorance, passed down. Exactly. We accept this stuff out of ignorance, passed down. Mbele, thank you. Exactly. That's all we've done. We've accepted the okie-doke. We've accepted the stories of old because it's just been passed down and passed down and passed down until they're saying today. And it's not even just today because it's been going on, but they're saying this day and time, no more. You know, when you get a gut feeling, you get an insight about something, can't nobody tell you it's not true. And after the fact, you'll be like, yo, I knew that was fact. I knew that happened. I knew that was going to happen. Because that's the divine and you're already telling you what's going on. But we've been ignoring that for so long, you know what I mean? Or we've just been accepting. Those things are over. We have to stop. We have to bring it back into balance. We have to put the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, exactly where she needs to be honored, to be, worshipped, to be desired, to be loved, to be cared for. Because in that expression, the world gets cared for. Mother Nature, she needs to be nurtured. She needs to be supported. You know what I mean? I'm being introduced to so many different things, so many different elements of this world. And it's like, it's opening my mind to say, yo, we've got so many things that we can do, but it has to come with unity. You know, the separation has been going on for long enough. It's time to bring it back together. But the first bringing together is within you. The sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, they're both a part of you. Bring them together, bring back that balance. Let the expression of our external selves be manifested as the divine feminine, the sacred feminine takes her rightful place. Anyway, again, I love you. I love me too. And until our next time, all right? Speak to you soon. Take care. Peace out.